Let's be honest. Not every woman adds value to your life. Some walk in with peace, grace, and purpose. Others, they come with chaos wrapped in curves and compliments. They don't always argue. They don't always cheat. Some of them are far more dangerous because they don't look dangerous. They smile. They touch your arm gently. They say all the right things. But while you're distracted by charm, they're rearranging your mind. Slowly, quietly, completely, you stop chasing your goals. You start doubting your worth. You lose your edge, and before you realize it, you're not the man you were. Not because you changed, but because she drained you. This isn't about hate. It's not about blaming women. It's about protecting your focus, your mission, your masculinity, because a low-value woman won't just waste your time. She'll make you question your reality. She doesn't destroy you with rage. She erodes you with confusion. And the most dangerous part? You'll start calling it love. So what are the signs? What are the red flags that you should never ignore? The patterns that reveal you're not in a partnership, you're in a power game. A test of how much of yourself you're willing to lose just to keep the peace. In this video, I'm giving you the 6 signs of a low-value woman. Not to attack, but to awaken. Not to argue, but to arm you with truth. Because real men don't stay in emotional war zones hoping it gets better. They see the pattern. They move silently, decisively. So if you've ever felt drained instead of driven, confused instead of calm, like you're walking on eggshells instead of standing on purpose, then you need to hear this. This might be the most important message no one ever told you. Before we dive in, hit like, subscribe to Stoic Thinkers, and let's build the mindset that keeps you focused, free, and unbreakable. Sign 1. She complicates everything. Gentlemen, listen. A good woman brings stability. She doesn't add chaos. She clears it. But a low-value woman? She thrives in confusion. She feeds off misalignment. You ask a direct question. She answers with riddles. You try to open up. She shuts down or twists your words. Today she's warm, tomorrow she's ice. You never know which version of her you're getting. And here's the worst part. She makes you feel like you're the problem. You start second-guessing everything. What you said, how you said it, whether you're overthinking or underreacting. She says, if you really knew me, you'd understand. But connection shouldn't feel like decoding a cipher. That's not a mystery. It's manipulation. A woman who refuses clarity is a woman who fears accountability. She wants you lost, unsure, dependent on her validation. Because the more confused you are, the more control she has. If you're constantly asking, where do I stand? Does she really care? What did I do wrong? You're not in love. You're in emotional warfare. Confusion isn't chemistry, it's control. And peace doesn't come after the storm. Comes without it. So ask yourself, is she building with you? Or baiting you? Because the moment you normalize emotional chaos, you stop recognizing what healthy feels like. And here's what's dangerous. When a man's lost in chaos, he becomes vulnerable to something even more toxic, desperation for validation, which brings us to the second sign, sign 2. She craves attention more than connection. She doesn't want a relationship. She wants an audience. She's constantly online but rarely present. She captures every angle of her life for strangers, but somehow forgets to show up for you. You try to connect, but she's too busy chasing validation. Another selfie, another story, another "hey beautiful" in her DMs. And when you finally speak up, she calls you controlling. She says, you're insecure. It's just social media. But let's be honest, if you have to compete with a screen for her attention, you've already lost. Because for her, likes are a currency, and attention is a drug. The more she gets, the more she needs. And in that addiction, you become invisible, just another prop in her carefully curated image. You'll be there in person, but she'll be somewhere else, in the comments. in the DMs, in the fantasy of being wanted by everyone but known by no one. A high-value woman? She doesn't measure her worth by how many eyes are on her. She measures it by how deeply she connects with you, with herself, with her purpose. She respects loyalty. She guards privacy. She knows attention fades, but character doesn't. So if she needs the world to see her in order to feel seen, she'll never fully see you. And here's where it gets worse. When a woman seeks constant external validation, she starts avoiding the one thing that could actually help her grow: accountability. Which leads us straight into the third sign, the woman who refuses to take responsibility for anything. Sign 3. She avoids responsibility like it's the plague when attention is the goal. Accountability becomes the enemy. A low-value woman will do everything to protect her image, even if it means blaming you for the mess she made. You bring up a real issue, she flips it. A woman who values partnership speaks her truth to bridge gaps, not to weaponize them. She says, "I'm hurt," to heal, not to punish. But the emotional puppeteer, her tears, silence, or fine, whatever, are tools to hijack your autonomy. You become a prisoner of her moods, editing your words, second-guessing your needs, shrinking to fit the script she's written. Ask yourself, do you ration honesty to keep peace? Does her fragility demand you abandon your boundaries? This isn't intimacy. It's a one-woman show where you're both audience and performer. Over time, the weight of her unspoken rules erodes your clarity. You lose yourself in the labyrinth of her emotions, forgetting that love shouldn't demand your silence. True partnership thrives on mutual respect, not mind games. Call out the unspoken. Name the silence. I feel manipulated when you withdraw. If she deflects or escalates, you've unmasked the game. A high-value woman respects your voice. A manipulator fears it. Stay with me. The next sign exposes a tactic so subtle you've likely missed it for years. What if the problem isn't what she's doing, but what she refuses to do? Sign 5. She has no vision for the future. The eternal drifter. Imagine building a life on quicksand. Every step forward sinks deeper into chaos. She's a human whirlwind, chasing dopamine hits, dodging responsibility, and rewriting her identity with every breeze of inconvenience. What starts as carefree spontaneity slowly morphs into a silent crisis. You're the architect, and she's the wrecking ball. She sells her lack of direction as living in the moment, a romantic rebellion against society's rules. But peel back the facade, and you'll find a vault of avoidance. No career path, just side quests. No savings, just impulse buys. No tough conversations, just exits. This isn't freedom. It's Peter Pan syndrome dressed in adult clothing. Psychologists link this to commitment phobia, a terror of being pinned down by consequences or growth. A high-value woman isn't rigid. She's rooted. She plans not out of fear, but because she respects the life she's building. She invests. She sacrifices short-term thrills for long-term gains. The drifter? She'll romanticize the journey while you sweat over the roadmap. You'll stress about mortgages, emergencies, and retirement. She'll stress about FOMO and which influencer's lifestyle to mimic next. Ask yourself, are you the default problem solver for her self-made crises? Does her go-with-the-flow attitude mean you flow into burnout? Do you feel more like a parent than a partner? This isn't love, it's emotional freeloading. You'll drain your resources propping up her chaos, while she mistakes your labor for love. Worse, she'll resent you for outgrowing her stagnant energy. A true partner leans into life's grind with you, not against you or behind you. Test her. Propose a 6-month goal. If she deflects, jokes, or ghosts, you've got your answer. A woman worth your future won't fear it. She'll fight for it. Don't scroll yet. The next sign is the most insidious. It's why smart men waste decades on standstill relationships. What if the real danger isn't her flaws, but your own blind spots? She mistakes confidence for arrogance, leadership for tyranny, and boundaries for oppression. Challenge her inconsistency. You're controlling. Out-earn her. You're arrogant. Refuse to apologize for your standards. You're toxic. This isn't feedback. It's psychological sabotage. Covertly, she'll chip away at your identity, mocking your goals, dismissing your wins, or weaponizing feminism. Real men don't. Her goal? To shrink you into a version she can dominate without resistance. A weak woman fears a strong man because he mirrors everything she refuses to become. Disciplined, accountable, unshakable. So she pathologized his strength. She'll label his focus neglect, his silence emotional unavailability, his self-respect ego. Meanwhile, she'll pedestalize mediocrity in others. The couch-surfing artist, the unserious charmer, the nice guy who asks permission to exist. Why? Control. A man who doubts himself is easier to manage. A secure woman doesn't fear your power. She fuels it. She knows your strength isn't a rival to hers but the roof under which her own gifts flourish. She'll match your discipline with curiosity, your boldness with wisdom, your fire with grace. If your resolve triggers her, she's not your equal. She's your critic. And love shouldn't feel like a courtroom. Stop negotiating your worth. Speak louder. Stand firmer. If she recoils, let her. A woman who loves you, not the version she can manipulate, will stay to build, not break. If she flees, you've dodged a lifetime of self-betrayal. These signs aren't about vilifying women. They're about vindicating your discernment. A toxic partner isn't just a bad chapter. She's a thief of time, confidence, and destiny. The right woman doesn't demand you dull your shine to soothe her shadows. She meets you at the summit, torch in hand, ready to illuminate new peaks. So walk away from the games, the silence, the drifters, the saboteurs. Stop fearing the loss of the wrong one, and start honoring the worth of the right one, starting with yourself. If this resonated, like the video, subscribe to Stoic Thinkers, and drop a comment. Let's keep building the mindset that protects your purpose. Until next time, stay grounded, stay sharp, and never settle.